For some of us, it was quite hectic. But I know some of us just had a time to rest. Yes, I do hope that you had time to rest though. Um, it's today's live once again, a new week, beautiful topics that we have lined up for you. I promise you, you will not regret staying with us throughout this week. You would enjoy it. In fact, today we are starting on a bubbly note, a very lovely, lively topic. We're talking about certain enemies around that, well, they just seem undercover. Okay, in case you don't get me, what I mean is we're talking about undercover enemies. And I have my able and capable. Okay, let me not do that today. I have I have engineer Tony and he gave me, I know you're wondering why I was laughing, but if you see the way he was looking at me before.
Because you are going to say your squad. Squad. Why didn't you say your squad?
Able and capable squad. Just complete it. It's your normal punchline.
Oh my goodness. Okay, Jamie Ma, I'll not say anything about that, but welcome on set, no problem. I'm not going to take any offense. Today is a beautiful day, so I'll take no offense.
Offense.
No offense. Solomon, good morning.
Good morning, Prudence.
It's really nice to have you all with me today as we're discussing undercover enemies. And because of the attack I just received this morning, I'm beginning to wonder whether Jemima is an undercover enemy.
Oh, wow. We shall find out
At the end of the show.
if it's me, or if we are more, or if it's none.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah,
What a great day to be alive.
true.
Yes,
Really true.
yes.
Really. And it's just a beautiful day. I think the rains that happened here that fell yesterday in just made the weather cool and fresh and nice. So this morning I'm feeling me. I'm feeling like myself because I love just weather. So just beautiful. And sometimes let me move from the weather discussion. So sometimes the world just seems like you have a lot of friends around you, but then again you still hear things about you out there in the world, or you just find that some people have a different image about you because of certain things that some people have said about you. And you begin to wonder, where exactly are these people getting the stories from? And more times than not you hear things like, oh no, somebody close to him said this thing, so I know that this is legitimate. And you're just wondering. So we're talking about undercover enemies, a lot of them in a lot of places, in different, like, you cannot always tell that these people are actually your enemies. Let's see certain ways that you've reasoned and saying like, okay, so it's like this is the work of undercover enemies or something like that, of that nature.
Okay. Undercover enemies.
Solo has a lot of them, so let him.
I was thinking you would say you have a lot of them.
No.
Okay.
You know,
The
everything.
reason why I won't say I have enemies is because nobody has called me to say he's my enemy. So whatever you are doing as an enemy, I'm not even aware. So as far as I'm concerned, I don't have enemies.
Okay.
Jemima, you do.
No, I was going to say that means probably have crush enemies. I like that. I love that. Because you're not aware.
If I hadn't asked, I would have missed this point.
Truly.
Sorry, Solo, go ahead.
No problem. And on a lighter note, he said he doesn't have enemies. And
As far as I'm concerned.
yes, because you don't even know them.
Except it is publicly declared. If not, they are crushed.
Crush enemies. Well, and crush enemies, you find them everywhere. Because it starts from who you are. Because naturally, some people are haters. Naturally, so there's nothing you do about them, unless they have an encounter with our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and he decided to change them in his own way. But nothing a human being like me and you, or like programs like this, will tell them, because they just feel this guy, they're just talking nonsense as far as they are concerned, because everything that happens around them irritates them, make them very uncomfortable, make them feel like they are a kind of stagnant, and it makes them feel like they are nobody. It makes them not to appreciate themselves. They are full of jealousy, full of anger, full of bitterness, simply because Jemima is wearing a maroon shirt. How on earth? And they will not tell you, but their attitude and their behaviors around you, and you will start wondering, maybe you are even thinking, I'm the one that make the person angry, not knowing that you are the one, and simply because of the shirt you are wearing. And you don't even know. And that's what makes them crush.
What a reason to inherit enemy.
To inherit
from a distance.
What a reason to inherit an enemy.
You know, so some people are just like that. But some people along the way, maybe they are in a relationship, friendship that is genuine, right? And then possibly along the way, they just feel disappointed. They just feel the relationship is not what they are thinking. And you know, you can't just delve into something without having an intention. Some, they start a relationship with a negative thought. Negative thought in the sense that I am into this relationship for just what I will gain, not coming with an open heart to grow in the friendship, in the relationship. Whatever comes is part of the relationship, whether it's bitter, whether it's sweet, no matter how it is. You know, it's just from part of growth. And with that, you learn the bitter part of it, the sweet part of it, and you learn. You put them together and you keep moving and you keep growing. And that's the reason why some people, you see their relationship today, they are not in any way, like when you talk about state, they are far apart. But if you see how they relate, like brother and sister, why? Because they have given the relationship or the friendship that they are having, like everything. Like the relationship means everything to them. So they put everything and they make it grow to a point that you cannot differentiate whether these people are not siblings. And that's when you will hear some people who say, this person is more than a friend to me. It's not that when they started the relationship, it's all sweet, all true. They have their own ups and downs during the relationship, but they are deliberate about the relationship. People that are coming into a friendship or a relationship with a clean heart. But people that are coming with a selfish mind, with a negative or let's say wrong intention to that friendship or relationship, they always come, and once it doesn't seem like what they are hoping and what they want throughout the relationship, that is when they begin to act the other way around. So anything that they discover in the friendship or the relationship that is negative, that is what they will project. So as they are projecting it, it makes it look like already while they were there, they are not there for the friendship, but they are there to know the negative part of whoever they are with, so that they will use it against him. So people like that, I will tag them. Those are the enemies within, that they come around, pretend. And those are the kind of people that the Bible described them as sheep in wolves, wolves in sheep clothing. So they come, they are there, they exist, but that's their intention. So they dive into any relationship or anything, they come with a negative whatever, just to project that, and that's what they are after. So people like that, you know, they are always there, but it depends on the other person. If you are discovering an enemy within, it's left for me now to be guided to be armed to know how to deal with such people.
Yeah, in my
Under
generation, we call them
undercover
frenemies.
Frenemies. Yeah.
undercover agent enemies. I said agent.
I think
What's,
they are.
what's the
They are,
difference?
they are actually undercover agents.
Undercover agents.
There's no difference.
So undercover enemies, like we have stated, are enemies within.
Mm.
You know, when I think of the word undercover, what comes to my mind is people that were sent on a particular assignment
Mm.
to do something, and for them to get that assignment right, they have to
Camouflage.
yes, they have to camouflage, and then they have to live within people, do the things that people are doing. They have to just make you feel so comfortable with them, and then eventually they strike because they are more like spies. They take whatever reports they have gotten to their destinations, and then they have all the information they need to just come and strike everyone. So undercover enemies are pretenders, and they are almost always fake because they have to do whatever they can
They are
to
fake.
get what they want.
Mm.
And they are always within, like we have said. They are not far.
Mm.
They are just close by. And they are people that you least expect. Probably someone that you feel, okay, I share an interest with this person. This person is in my circle, is in my curricle. You just trust someone, and then you're looking far ahead to check for your enemies, not knowing that these ones are very close. That's why they always say the devil you know is better than the angel you don't know. So it's easier you know someone for his attitude, for his character, than someone you're seeing from afar and hoping, oh, I like this person, I want this, I like that, and you don't even know that, okay, this is the person that doesn't want the best for you. A lot of times when you hear instances that a house was robbed, you always hear comments like, is someone from within that gave an information outside. If a church was robbed, instruments were taken, so many valuables were taken, is someone from within
A
that
band
gave
member.
A band member. They are watching.
is someone from within that knows the in and out of all those things that gave out information. Because how would a place be robbed and no window was broken, no door was broken, nothing, everything is just intact, and you enter is missing? It didn't
mic is
suddenly
missing.
disappear. Someone from inside gave out information outside. So that is the enemy within. They always make you feel like they are there for you, but they are against you. And it is something that we really need to open our eyes. We don't get carried away by things that people do. We need to look beyond just what people are doing to be able to figure out who is the friend and who is the foe.
And you know what you just said just made me remember this, or like think of this. It's like sometimes they actually feel like they're the ones who have your best interest at heart, and they sap information from you like very fast and quick. It's like they just stationed to study you and understand the way you think and understand the way you behave. Then they go and give information. Okay, so if you want to get her, you do it this way. If you want to get at him, you come at this direction, because he doesn't have a gauge from this side, but he's very free from this other side. No, this other side, he's very guarded. So if you try him here, you will not get anything. So you have to try him from the other side, so that you will be able to bridge the wall. This is it. These people have taken time to study you. Enemies within they're not people that you can easily dictate from a glance. They're not people that you can easily. Little wonder you find someone wondering, after all these years, like, could it be that the whole relationship I had with this person was just a phase? Like, was it just a front? Was this person never at some point actually considering me as a friend or a brother? And you're wondering, because this person from the beginning never went there with you in mind. This person probably just went there to get what he wants. Probably went there to be the person who tarnishes your image so that people would see you in a different light. I've heard stories of how someone really called her way into a person's life, and just for one reason, how can this person be glowing and be flourishing like this and I'm not? And this is what she did. She came into the life of the girl as a friend, from friend. She did not, later on, the friend did not understand what was going on, but this lady has crawled into the bed of the friend, the husband's bed, their matrimonial bed and things like that. And at the end of the day, this friend is finding out that I was never your friend in the first place. I just came because I wanted your man.
Wow.
And you wonder, like, so this whole friendship that you built was just because you wanted the man.
To understand the man.
So you will
Through the wife.
understand. Yes, so that you know where exactly you can go and get this person that is. So a lot of people are like that. At this moment, at the moment where they were friends, this girl thought she had someone she can confide in. This lady thought she had someone who is a friend, that if she has any issues, she's able to get solutions. But this other lady just came because she wanted solutions for her own issues. So sometimes these enemies within are like that. They're there for their own interest and they don't really care.
And
You
you
know-
know,
okay.
one thing that strikes out a lot is the very first enemy within is yourself.
Very true.
Yes, I see it that way. There's nobody that can do more harm to you than you yourself. So a lot of times we allow a lot of things to stand in our way. Yes, it's very easy to blame someone else for what you know is your own wrongdoing. It's easy for me to just say, I did this because Solomon Sambo said this. I did this because Prudence said that. No, we are mostly our own enemies. We stop ourselves from reaching our full potential, either through doubt, cheating, envy, jealousy, and a long list keeps going on. So even when people do certain things for us, it's like they are building on
What you
the
have already-
initial enemy grounds we have set for ourselves. So we hinder ourselves, we build some fence mechanisms around us, and it becomes very easy for someone to just strike, someone within, of course, to just strike, because you are the first enemy. But if you are able to understand that if you want the best for yourself, you are the first person that can promote that best. If you want the worst for yourself, you are your first fan before any other enemy can come in between.
The thing about enemies is that there are some of this. I don't know who told you I was going to make that point though, but since you have
stole into your notes.
since
stole into your
since you have introduced it, let's continue.
The spirit is one.
No, she stole into his notes.
the enemy that is not you is not the greatest enemy, because there is a limit to how his enmity can affect you. But the enemy that is within you yourself, I had the privilege of speaking in a church one time, and the title of the message was "The Enemy Within." And the enemy within, I'm not talking about somebody from women fellowship or men fellowship or anyone. I'm talking about the enemy that is embedded within you as a person. The enemy within you is the enemy that tells you have a husband, but try a different man. That's the enemy within. The enemy within is the one that tells you, why don't you try 160, 180 on this road? That's the enemy. Yes, that's the enemy within. The enemy within is the one that says, you see, try this prudence and see what happens. It's an enemy within. You see, there are multiple women, but not all of them are yours. There are multiple men, but not all of them are yours. So when you are committed to a woman, or when you are glued to a woman, there are voices that will suggest other women to you. It's an enemy within. I am not the one telling you that matter is available. No, it's your mind that is telling you that's an enemy within. And you know, sometimes these enemies, whether the undercovered ones or the ones embedded, they don't tell you what to do with suggestions of the repercussions. No, sir. They just make you see the good parts, the amazing parts, the parts that will make you extremely happy, joyous, and once it backfires, when you hit the brick wall, the suggestions, you don't even know who suggested that thought to you or such thoughts to you. You'll be like, if I had known. In a buying care. So you see, if you want to start dealing with these enemies, give them less reasons and less weapons to use against you. Most of the things that have been done to you by friends, family members, because you let them know who you are, you gave them a piece of that information, so they banked on it, they capitalized on it, and then they blew it up. You know, when Prudence was making a point, I was thinking, how is it that I got to be this close to Jemima, somebody's wife? How did I get to be very close with Jemima to the extent that she's telling me things I don't have business knowing? You see, these are things, anything that starts happening with you, there are signs, there are warnings. You just chose to ignore them. But before the repercussion shows up, or before the repercussion happens, there are signs and there are warnings that you chose to ignore. You don't just go into something and the next thing there are consequences. No, you see signs that this one is wrong. This one, I don't think you should engage or embark on this thing. I think you can withdraw now that it's early. You are like, wow, since I've not performed any miracle, I can't withdraw on team. Why do I get so close with a woman that's not mine? This is Mrs. Emmanuel, right? Or Mrs. Nathan? Mrs. who? Emmanuel. Who is Nathan? Okay. Why do I keep mixing them up? Okay, Emmanuel is your driver. Okay. That man, hold am tight to. Why should I get so close to you that I'm knowing that you are doing a business your husband is not aware? So who am I that I'm aware? These are questions you are not asking. If I tell my husband this now, he will spoil the plan for you. Uncle T, I must tell you, there is one man that is toasting me up and down. He's disturbing me in that our office. But the question is, of a truth, that man has no business being anywhere close to your life. He has no business being anywhere close to your life. Why should I be the one aware when I don't have half as much what you do with Emmanuel? Emmanuel, right?
Yes.
What you do with him. So sometimes by saying that, you don't know that you are bringing an enemy close. I appear to be a friend. I am not. Enemy is not when they start doing wrongs to you. No. Enemy is when a person has no business knowing your secret, and he is knowing he's already your enemy. It's the manifestation of that enmity that has not showed up, but that person is already your enemy. And we have to be extremely careful how we let certain things permeate through the fabrics of our lives. Why, in the first instance, do you have to be friends with Prudence? Why? Why? The lady is nice, she's this. Have you seen the other part of her that you might not like? So why? See, I've seen people who I was scrolling on my phone and the person asked me, all these numbers are on your phone? I said, yes. Do you know all these people? I'm like, I have over 10,000. He said, no, man. What you do? They call you? Do you call them? I said, well, we have families. He said, no. In fact, there's a way he said it. I can't say it in church. He said, let me show you my phone. His wife's number, his mother's number, his father's number. Some of his brothers, he doesn't have their number. You see one person with iPhone 57. $2,000-3,000 phone, only 6 numbers inside. Yes. WhatsApp? No, I don't do that. You want to talk to me? You send me a mail. You see, people like that have very slim chances of having enemies. Today, if I put something on my status, if I see the number of people that have viewed that, I'll be like, who are these people? Sometimes I'll be scrolling. I'll be like, who is Emmanuel NNPC? I keep scrolling. Who is Martha Youth Fellowship? I keep scrolling. Allergy Ibrahim mechanic. Where is this mechanic? Only God knows. You keep scrolling. Sometimes you even see somebody that is dead. Yes. Several times somebody is still using the number. Why is it that somebody is lying in his grave and is going to So you see, this issue of enmity, let's not be in a hurry to start insulting and criticizing the people who have enemies. Let's find out the roles they played, that these enemies became comfortable to fight them at the end.
True. Very true.
And talking about enemy within, I think that wrap up the whole discussion, and I think it is very important we understand that, because the enemy within is the one that, let me say, engineer everything, that you see it manifesting, in the physical, because like he rightly said, we enter, or we go into certain relationship or partnership or whatever you will call it, that are very, very unnecessary. You don't need them. Like the example, I think he said this example, like time without number. And anytime he said there's a way it normally hits me. And yes, and always when he said it, it comes to me with a different message again, because it's not always like an old story. It always comes fresh, giving you something new to ponder upon. You understand? So sometimes when you tell people, like, why must you keep like people, and then you hear people calling, this is my friend, I was with my friend, and then I always ask this question. I said, when you say this person is your friend,
what do you mean?
Yes.
Sir, I always ask this question, and it's funny when you hear the answer. I said, can't you just go, even if you don't understand, can't you just go look
And
for that
find out
dictionary,
the meaning of friend?
find out the meaning of
Some are just
friend.
acquaintances.
They are not even up to.
They are not
I'm
even
telling
up to.
you, you just tripped on a stone. You wanted to fall. Somebody just I held your hand in the market,
And he's your friend.
It's-
and
friend.
I'm grateful. Let me have your number.
Oh.
That is all. And then you start talking. You don't even know if the father is a herbalist or a native. You don't even know. You just inherit, a lot of things. And
Very, very true. And this is.
I
Really
don't know if Solo is done with his point,
Yes,
though.
okay.
I was just thinking. A lot of times, you check through your phone and you're seeing things like driver, tailor, market person, and all those things. Yeah, and
I
you're
like
wondering,
that market person.
why do you?
How will
have
I save
this
somebody
thing?
as market person? The persons that are in the market, they are
Yep, there's so much.
market person. Or maybe a person you made in the market.
The market.
It's just weird that not weird. Yes, weird. It's just interesting how we find reasons to keep relationships with people when there's no reason to do so in the first place. And because we keep doing that, we find ourselves we've opened the forum for people who don't care what is going on in our lives to come into our lives. We give them that gateway. It's because we have opened that gate for them, and that's why they're coming in. A lot of times, I know it is said that love your neighbor, love your enemies. But where we always get it wrong is that we think that it means be friends with your enemies. And I don't think that's what that passage was actually saying. Because even for your own sanity, for your own peace of mind, for your own growth, sometimes you need to keep certain people at arm's length. But we try as much as possible to make everybody our friend. And because we keep trying to make everybody a friend, we always bring in the wrong people to our circles. And when we are hurt, we're like, and I trusted this person. Why did you give your trust to this person in the first place?
Trusted.
You see, sometimes the reason why we mostly regret is because we are not armed. We are not.
We're not knowledged. We're not informed.
That is it. That's the point. We are not. So when you are informed, you understand. When you are loaded, you don't pay mind because you know such people exist. Whatever they are using, let me say, whatever they have access to, it's a privilege. It's a privilege. I'll put it that way. This is the reason why I'm saying what I'm saying. Look at the life of Jesus. See how he chose his 12 disciples. See how he lived with them. See how he impacted them. At the end, what happened? There was an enemy with him. The question is that how did he treat that guy? Sorry, I used guy. Judas. How did he treat him? I asked myself,
how did he treated him?
No, if I had the one, and such thing happened with all that impact, you understand? See how Jesus poured himself in them, and look at it at the end. Not just betraying someone that you will just do something and then everybody will go his way. He's taking him to the cross, like eliminating the person. Like, how will you act if you are the one? You are the one. But look at how Jesus.
True.
Look at how Jesus.
I think Jesus acted the way he did because he was pre-informed of Judas, and he even told them. He said, "One of you here," and he knows who was going to do that.
Yes.
And he said, even before a small girl, a little girl, Peter said he was not with Jesus, but Jesus knew. See, if you know, there are people. You see, that was why I made this statement earlier. That you are getting close to a woman that is not yours, and you are seeing signs that it will backfire, but you are ignoring the signs. So Jesus knew that these things will happen. Sometimes I get to be close to people, and then I start asking myself, why am I close to this human being? Like, why will I be close to market person? You start asking questions, and then you start putting a withdrawal. You systematically, you start living the lives of these people. They call you 5 times, you don't pick, and then you call once. Sorry, I was busy all the while. How are you? How have you been? When should we meet? It's been a while. You see, you have concern, but you are saying work is not giving you time. Gradually, you find out that 1 year you have not spoken. And before you know it, it will die out. And then, you see, most of these things, prayer is very important too. There are certain things I know it's not the function of prayer, but I still pray. What is wrong if you pray as a Christian? There was a time a lady was saying, this pastor, every day he will tell her he sees death, he sees this, he sees that. She does not believe. Pray, this one will happen. Pray, She said she's tired. I said, what is wrong? I'm not even saying what the pastor is saying is right or wrong. But since he said pray, if you pray that death should not come, what is wrong with it? Even, you see, sometimes we don't want to do things just because it was Tony that said it. You carry bucket, you want to fetch water and bath. B-A-F-F. And bath. Well, let's remove the other F. And bath. And then I just like, why you look dirty, you need to go and shower. And she like, because he said it, I will not do it until he leaves. So that it will not be recorded that it was Tony that said I should go and shower. What if I tell you there is a snake in that room? Don't enter. What will you do? Do you understand what I'm saying? Sometimes God can just use someone to speak to you. God can tell you, no. You see, I am very well involved with the people in my village. We are building a church. I was in the village like 2 days ago, and I saw a lot of errors. While I was saying, no, do this this way, do this way, something was telling me that praise them for doing it this way, because that is the limit to their understanding. So praise them. That is the only way they can appreciate what you are saying now. Because now you are sounding like they did rubbish. So I said, but who is the engineer here? Because I knew that I was beginning to inherit enemies. I said, who is the engineer here? They say, he's not around. I said, he did a great job. Who are the people that are working? He said, Matasani. I said, what? Say, so we are not paying for labor. They said, no, it's people, women, and all that. You see, they started coming closer because I started praising them. And when I was leaving, I removed money and I said, this is not for church. It's for all of you that have been working here. Share it equally. Let's take a picture. So we took a picture, we shared it, and somebody called me to say they have broken this part right now because it has gone far, but they have broken it down. They have done this. What you have said, there's a part that we cannot do now because the old church is this. They were just saying a lot of things, and everybody was like, we are happy. See, nobody came to tell us this. Nobody visited us, but you did. See, sir, you also have to have knowledge of managing people. Some people will become enemies with you just because they don't have access to you. Some people want to be in your life, not because they want to come with anything positive, but for bragging rights. I know I was with the GM in his office. He was even saying he needs to fire Moses Ija. You know, things are going wrong. It's just bragging rights.
I have his numbers.
Let me even call him. You know?
You see, he's busy. That's why he didn't pick.
You see, sometimes you just inherit enemies for no reason.
True.
You bought something that is an inner wear that we don't have a reason to see, but you explain the color and everything to us. So you are telling people to imagine it on you. Wow. And when they want to see it on you, you say no. They start hating you. Enmity. So you see, if you had not told, far from being found for any insubordination.
True.
We always feel people must know our business. The moment you do that, have this at the back of your mind. Know that any information equals 5 enemies. Any information, just look at it this way, that any information you give out about yourself equals 5 enemies. 1 enemy is the first person that you have told. The rest of the 50 people that you will tell, 5 people out of
And
the
it
50.
depends on the version they
And
hear.
that is the reason why they will become enemies. It's a tithe of the 50 that will be the enemy. Because the rest are believing, I've not met this one. Why will I even hate him already? You know? Haven't you seen where a lady is saying what a man has done to her, and the other ladies that have not met the man, they are like, men, I feel like stabbing this man even though I don't know him. If I see this man, I can just tear him. I can just. And the day you meet him, he's buying you suya, he's buying you this, he's saying, how is your friend? I'm not happy how it ended. Do you know this girl poured water on me when I went to her house? You see, that part of the story you didn't hear. Do you know she told this about me? That part of the story you didn't hear. You just heard the one that favors your erroneous and defeated lifestyle. And then you are, yes, and then you are banking on it. You are banking on it. Sir, even in this office where we work, there are people you have no business saying anything other than how are you doing? Yes. Good afternoon. But when you start having such relationships, it will be sweet now.
Yes.
The day it will turn sour. Even the things that you didn't want your mother or your father to know, they will find out. Because right now, I see that what is trending now is not social media itself. It's the use of social media. Because that is where everybody makes posts about, just make somebody angry. 5 minutes later, go to their status.
Just that your name will not be included.
No, but you know who they are talking to now.
Exactly.
Sometimes when you trust people, or mind the way you trust people, I didn't think it will come from this direction. You just hear silly things. And some people even have the guts to post your picture or munch whatever you have said and make a comment. Sir, even if that is not true about you, how many people have read it and have taken a different notion about who you are? So this private life, there are certain things you hide to do as an adult, not because you don't have the right to do them openly, but no, you are depriving people the reasons to become enemies with you. Like me, if I'll see food and eat, if I'll see food and eat, and I'll see bed to sleep, so I don't care what is happening elsewhere. If I'll see food to eat, and there is bed to sleep, I don't. I've told you several years ago that I am at a point in my life where even if I lose everything, it will not bother me. I told you over 10 years ago. And I'm still living by that. There are times you hear that, I've lost this. I've lost this. There was a day I was driving with a staff who were coming, and somebody called me, and my car, when they call me, you hear the conversation while I drive. This is like 3-4 years ago. I lost 28 million. The person was angry on my behalf. 28 million in a deal that we covered. I should have sued these people and to get this money back. But I am like, there are better things to do. I am a young person with young people's needs. 28 million will go a long way. But I just decided, is my life attached to this? I'm not saying this to take honor on myself, but I'm just letting people know that you don't have to collapse over everything. You don't have to collapse over everything. Once I still have this going on, I can make more millions. I lost that money just like that. I had plans of what to do with the money. Till today, the money never came. There was a time I did a production to sell a candidate in this country who eventually became the president of this country. When I went to collect my money, they told me to consider it as bad business. They are not paying me. They told me like that. I did. That's a few hundreds of millions, and I forgot it. Today, nobody is insulting me up and down like they are insulting that human being, that president person. That federal person, the federal government person. Since we have market person, we have federal government person, and I'm living well.
Former federal government.
I don't have blood pressure, but believe me, I know he does. I don't have people saying Alaisa, God punish you and all. I don't have people saying that to me. I'm sure he's hearing, even if they don't mean it, they are saying it. You see, people should learn to keep things to themselves. I don't know why I'm saying this, but maybe somebody will learn. I don't know why I'm saying this on air, but somebody will learn. Somebody, 1-5 will fall. You want to kill everybody in the family. No, move on. Is more important than putting negative energy to looking for it.
True.
If you look for it, you don't find it, it's fine. Next time, be more careful. But you see, we take certain risk of inviting certain things that will become enemies to us. It's not just people that are enemies to you. Things can be enemies to you. You know, the room that they raped you, if you see that room is your enemy. Anytime you pass that house is your enemy. You know, the area that maybe you lost a friend, or they slapped you, or they beat you up one time, you see that area that area becomes your enemy. You don't want to follow it. Haven't you heard people say, God forbid, for me to follow, I would rather go around because my ex lives here. You need to move on. You need to move on. You need to move on.
And really, talking about inherited enemies, this is like a trend now. You don't even know what happened, but you're willing to listen to just one part.
That's why I made mention of that lady that will just hear that Solo broke my heart. That guy, why will you even date somebody that his name is Solo? You don't know they like women. From history, we know that guy, blah, blah. I hate him. You have not met him.
You've not. And eventually, when you meet him and listen to his own side of the
Of
story,
course.
you see that you were told, you
Of
were
course.
fed with lies.
Of course.
Begin to fall in love.
You were fed with lies.
Why
the
do
whole
you think?
time.
Why do you think people end up marrying their chief mates? It's because, you see, sir, what is most important to a man is that if you know my secret as a woman and you are able to keep it, misbehave all you want, that one is a strong point.
Honestly.
Because a man hates it when he hears his issues on the streets. Even if it's your mother, don't tell her. Keep it, you are together. Because whatever you do to a man, he can forgive. But that one
Keeps haunting.
Hey, especially women that say my husband doesn't last in bed, and they go and hear it outside, because this happened recently in my area. My husband does not do this. My husband. Why should you go and say that? Now, her friend has stopped the husband to say, "Sir, I just have a suggestion. Blah 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 blah. Please try this and this. It helps." The man did not say anything. He collected it and he left. He didn't fight his wife. He didn't fight his wife. He didn't even confront her to say, "You are telling people that this and that and this." He didn't say that. So the remedies, the homemade remedies that the Good Samaritan gave him, when he started feeling his body like they are walking, so he tried it on the doctor that gave him the prescription. Now, it's him and the doctor. He spends 3-4 days in that house. She's not a doctor, I'm just saying, since she brought a prescription and a treatment, he lives 3-4 days in her place, and he stays 1-2 days in his own house. So that is the problem now. Now the wife is an enemy of that her friend that she told. If you knew your husband is going through this, what is the solution? What is, you as a wife, what solution are you bringing? Is telling somebody else a solution to the problem? If no, why say it? What is the reason? I'm just saying, what is the reason of saying it?
Why did she even go to look for a doctor? Okay, so I have this, my husband has this issue. Can you give me remedies? Why did she have to go and tell the
come
friend?
to her. Come to her, the woman. What is the standard of the time that someone's supposed to stay?
I don't know, but I know that.
No, how did she know?
Which one?
The time that a man supposed to last.
Okay, the wife.
Because she's comparing with something.
Okay, she's
for her to know that it doesn't last.
Okay,
that means she's comparing with something.
Okay. Well, me, all I know is that
someone else lasted.
Now there's a long-lasting impression elsewhere. That's what I know.
Yes.
And you see, sir, be careful what you let out. Even if it's you as a person, if something is disturbing you, before you discuss it with somebody, see, count it. Count the cost. If I have to talk to Prudence about this, what will it cost me? What will it cost me to? I know she's next chair in my office. She's the next, but what will it cost me? Is she mouthy as a person? Is she loud mouth? Is she this? Is she that? I'm not sure. Since you are not sure, don't. But if you are 100% sure, go ahead. I've told people things about me. I've heard them elsewhere. I didn't get angry. I blamed myself for saying it. And then I've decided that anything I don't want people to know, let me keep it within myself if it's my own. But if it's your own and you tell me, chances are that I'll also tell. Because I've said it several times on this show. It's not easy to keep a secret. But if it's your own, it's easy to keep it. If it's my own, personally, it's easy to keep. But if it's your own, I might.
So don't tell me.
Someone told someone, I have a secret, but promise not to tell anyone. The person said, don't bother. Because she would eventually tell. So she was
okay, I got Don't bother telling me.
Don't bother.
Just hold your secret. This is a secret.
Yes.
I don't have to know. I don't have to be in on this secret. And sometimes it's really important you do things like this. It's even, I don't know why we don't really care about our mental health. It's really important for your mental, for your spiritual well-being. In fact, certain things need to be quiet.
For your physical health.
Because you will start losing weight and then you start looking like somebody that has been positive.
And you go to hospital. They do all
the
tests. They will tell you there is nothing, and you begin to wonder. I'm always when you people will be like, "How far? Are you okay? What's wrong with you?"
Like one old man told me in the village. He said, he's not sick. He's not feeling any sickness, but he finds it difficult to walk long distance. I said, "Baba, chill on it." That if he's finding it difficult to walk long distance, I said, "Baba, you are sick."
No,
there's no pain, there's nothing on his body, but he finds it difficult to walk long, even with his walking stick. He doesn't walk long distance. What is the distance? Do you know the distance he's talking about?
No.
From the room to the toilet. That's the long distance he's talking about. I said, wait before you know, he's shitty. That's shiji in my language is urine.
Yeah.
So before he starts walking
To-
from the parlor or outside where he sits, that shiji is out. So I said, Baba, you are very sick.
Very.
That there's no pain, you know. The village man thinks that you have to lay down with pains all over. That is what they call sickness. But if you have small headache, you have hole in your back, you are going to the farm. So if it does not keep you down, he say he doesn't have pain, he doesn't have anything. But the only problem is that to walk this long distance, that he doesn't walk long. I say, Baba, so where are you going to as an old man like that? Almost 80. Where are you going to? He said, from this door where he's seated, even he speaks, from this door to the toilet before he goes out.
Oh my goodness.
I think he wanted you to just tell him that he's an old age. Like you are
They
fine
don't like
with that
hearing
old
that.
age. No,
They don't like
they
it when
don't.
you tell them they are old, because they know the sicknesses that comes with aging. They are not really, you just keep managing them, but they are not treatable. Like he's saying, he doesn't have any pain, he doesn't have anything. And anything, he starts crying. Because when we were talking, somebody came in whose bike was stolen. So a politician gave him a brand new bike. Is that not something we should celebrate? Baba started crying. So you see, his age. And sometimes, in the midst of people, when you are in the midst of people, gauge what you say. Because these days, people understand things the way they hear it, the way they want to understand it. If you like, explain 50 times. The way I want to explain it, I want to understand it, I beg your pardon. That is how I understand it. That explanation is your own. Me, this is how I understand it. It's wrong. So you rather not say anything in the midst of people. That way you are not found for any misconceptions or misinterpretations of what you have said, than to say something and come back to start explaining to people one by one. Like one time, Moses just made a mistake in an edit. So I said it was okay, we'll follow people one by one in their houses and explain to them. So this name is actually TSO, not TOS. So we'll go house by house and explain.
How many million houses?
We will go, including the people that commented they are watching from Burkina Faso. We'll go and meet them. Sri Lanka, we'll go and meet them. What is Philippines? The end of the world? What's that country? That country that is they say the country is facing the end of the world. Australia.
Okay.
They say after Australia there's no other country. There's nothing else. Yes. They say that's the end of the world. Yes. And I think it's geographically proven. They say it's the end of the earth. I think it's Australia. Yes, I think so. Yes.
That's a country.
Yeah?
I said the continent is a country.
Yes. That is it. They said after that one, there's no place again. I don't want to go there.
That's an interesting fact.
So you just see Angel Gabriel. We are neighbors with this country. Let's cross over. Angel will become an enemy with you. Undercover enemy. Gospel. But somebody. Our time is fast spent.
Yeah, really fast spent. And I love this discussion. I love the way we centered on how you work on the enemy within more than the enemies without. Because a lot of times we are actually the reason why we have certain enemies. It was really a lovely conversation. I love the angles that we came from. It was enlightening, much more than I imagined for me here. And I do believe that you at home enjoyed your time with us. Thank you so much for doing this with me. It's always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. Thank you, our crew. You're awesome people. Thank you for making this look beautiful. And thank you for you viewer. Thank you for staying with us. Thank you so much for always being there to just take a minute and listen to what we have to say. You make what we do here worthwhile. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for always supporting Equa Television, our Equa Television supporters. We really love you. We love you. Well, that's it for today. And as I promised you, this whole week is going to be a chain of interesting topics. So join us tomorrow. You would not regret it. It's been a pleasure. See you tomorrow. Bye.